Hey there. You're feeling it tonight, aren't you? That heavy feeling, that dark thought, that belief that you don't matter, that you're not important to the people around you. Maybe you've been feeling invisible, like people look past you, like you could disappear and no one would really notice, like your presence doesn't make a difference to anyone. And that thought, that feeling of not mattering, it's one of the most painful things you can experience. Because we all need to feel like we matter, like our existence means something, like someone would miss us if we weren't here. But right now, you're not feeling that. Right now, you're feeling the opposite. Like you're just taking up space. Like you're a burden. Like the world would be fine without you. Maybe even better. Take a breath with me. Just one breath. And as you exhale, know that what you're feeling right now, it's not the truth. It's a feeling. A painful feeling, a convincing feeling, but not truth. The truth is, you matter. You really do. Even when you can't feel it. Even when you can't see it. Even when your mind is telling you otherwise. Let your shoulders drop. Let yourself be here, in this moment, where I'm telling you something important. You matter to more people than you realize, in more ways than you know. Your presence makes a difference. Your existence has value. Tonight, we're going to talk about this darkness you're in, this feeling of not mattering, this belief that you're insignificant to the people around you. And I'm going to tell you why it's not true, why your mind is lying to you, why this feeling, as real as it seems, doesn't reflect reality. Because you do matter. You always have. You always will. Even when you can't feel it. Even when you can't see evidence of it. Even when your depression or your anxiety or your negative thoughts are telling you otherwise. You matter. Not because of what you do, not because of how useful you are, not because of what you contribute, but because you exist, because you're human, because your life has inherent value that doesn't depend on anyone else recognizing it. So tonight, even if you can't believe it yet, even if you can't feel it, just hear it. You matter. You really do. And we're going to explore why. We're going to look at the ways your mind is distorting reality. We're going to challenge the thoughts that are making you feel this way. Not with toxic positivity, not with empty reassurances, but with truth. With reality, with what's actually true about your value and your importance. You matter. More than you know, to more people than you realize, in more ways than you can see right now. So stay with me tonight. Let's walk through this darkness together. Let's find the truth that's hiding behind these painful feelings. You matter. That's where we start. That's what's true. That's what we're going to explore. You know why you're feeling like you don't matter? Because when you're in this dark place, your brain lies to you. It takes small things and makes them seem huge. It ignores evidence and focuses on absence. Someone didn't respond to your message. Your brain says, "See, you don't matter to them." But maybe they're busy. Maybe they're dealing with their own stuff. Maybe they forgot. There are 100 reasons that have nothing to do with you not mattering. You weren't included in something? Your brain says, "See, they don't want you around." But maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe they thought you were busy. Maybe they assumed you wouldn't be interested. Again, nothing to do with you not mattering. Your brain is looking for evidence to confirm what you're already feeling, and it's ignoring all the evidence that contradicts it. Because here's what your brain isn't noticing. The person who smiled when they saw you, the friend who reached out last week, the colleague who asked your opinion, the family member who thought of you. Those things happened, but your brain dismissed them. Because when you're feeling like you don't matter, your brain filters out anything that contradicts that belief. So you're not seeing reality. You're seeing a distorted, negative, filtered version of reality that confirms your worst feelings about yourself. And that's what depression does. That's what negative thinking does. It distorts. It filters. It lies. So what if the truth is different? What if you actually do matter to people, but you're just not seeing it right now? What if the evidence is there, but your brain is filtering it out? Think about it. If someone told you they feel like they don't matter, what would you say? You'd probably tell them that's not true. You'd probably point out ways they do matter. You'd probably see things they can't see about their own value. So why can't you do that for yourself? Why can't you see what others might see about your importance? Because you're in it. Because you're in the darkness. Because your brain is lying to you. So what if you challenged those thoughts? What if you questioned the narrative your brain is telling you? I don't matter to anyone. Is that actually true? Or is that what your depressed brain is telling you? No one would miss me. Is that a fact? Or is that a feeling? I'm invisible to people. Is that reality? Or is that your perception filtered through negativity? Start questioning. Start challenging. Start recognizing that what you're feeling isn't necessarily what's true. You do matter to people in ways you're not seeing right now. Your brain is just filtering that information out because it doesn't fit the negative narrative. So start looking for the evidence your brain is ignoring. Start noticing the small things that show you do matter. Start challenging the thoughts that tell you otherwise. You matter. That's the truth. Your brain is just having trouble seeing it right now. Let me tell you something about impact. about the ways you matter that you don't even realize. You think mattering means big, obvious things, grand gestures, major moments, clear evidence that you're important. But that's not how mattering works. Mattering is often quiet, subtle, in small moments that seem insignificant, but aren't. The conversation you had with someone that made them feel less alone. You probably don't remember it, but they do. The time you showed up when someone needed someone. You probably thought it was nothing, but to them, it was everything. The smile you gave someone who was having a hard day. You probably forgot about it immediately, but they carried it with them. The work you do that makes someone else's life easier. You probably think it's no big deal, but they notice. They appreciate it. All of these small things, these quiet moments, these seemingly insignificant interactions, they matter. They add up. They make a difference. And you don't see most of it because people don't always tell you. People don't always express their appreciation. People don't always let you know that something you did mattered to them. So you think you don't matter. But you do. In all these small, quiet, unacknowledged ways, you matter. And here's another thing. Your presence matters. Just your existence in people's lives matters. Even when you're not doing anything. Even when you're just there. The person who's glad you exist even when you're not talking. The friend who feels more comfortable just knowing you're there. The family member who would feel a hole in their life if you weren't in it. That's mattering too. Not doing, not performing, not proving, just being. Just existing, just being part of people's lives. And you don't see that either, because it's not obvious. It's not demonstrated. It's just there. Quiet, steady, real. So when you think you don't matter, you're only looking at the visible, obvious, demonstrative ways. But you're missing all the quiet, subtle, unacknowledged ways you matter every single day. You matter in conversations people remember, in moments people carry with them, in the comfort of your presence, in the difference you make without even trying. You matter. Not just when you're doing big things, but in the small, everyday, ordinary ways. In ways you don't see. In ways people don't tell you. In ways that are real, even when they're invisible. So stop measuring your worth by big, obvious evidence. Stop thinking you need grand gestures to matter. Stop believing that if it's not obvious, it's not real. You matter. Quietly, subtly, in small ways, every day, to more people than you realize. And just because you can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. Just because people don't tell you doesn't mean they don't feel it. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's not real. You matter in ways you'll never fully know, to people in ways they might never fully express. But you matter every day in countless small ways. Believe that, even when you can't see it, especially when you can't see it. Now let's talk about something important: the difference between feeling like you don't matter and actually not mattering. Feeling like you don't matter is a feeling. It's real, it's painful, but it's not a fact. It's not objective reality. It's your subjective experience filtered through whatever you're going through right now. Depression makes you feel like you don't matter. Loneliness makes you feel like you don't matter. Anxiety makes you feel like you don't matter. Rejection makes you feel like you don't matter. But those are feelings, generated by circumstances, by brain chemistry, by temporary states, not by actual reality. Actually not mattering would mean your existence has no impact on anyone, that you could disappear and literally nothing would change, that no one would notice, no one would care, no one would feel your absence. And that's not true. That's never true for anyone, ever. Because you exist in connection with other people. You're part of systems, part of relationships, part of communities, part of families, part of workplaces, part of networks. And removing you from any of those systems would change them, would affect people, would leave a hole. Maybe not a hole people would understand immediately. Maybe not a hole that would be obvious, but a hole nonetheless. Because you matter by virtue of being connected to others, by virtue of being part of people's lives, by virtue of existing in relationship. So the feeling that you don't matter, as real as it is, doesn't reflect reality. It reflects your current state, your current perspective, your current brain chemistry or emotional state. But it doesn't reflect objective truth. Because the objective truth is that you do matter. You do impact people. Your existence does make a difference. You just can't see it right now, because of where you are, because of what you're feeling, because of how your brain is filtering information. So when the feeling comes, when the thought arises that you don't matter, recognize it for what it is: a feeling, not a fact, a perception, not reality, a temporary state, not permanent truth. I feel like I don't matter. That's accurate. That's honest. That's real. But I don't matter is not accurate, because it's treating a feeling as a fact, a perception as reality, a temporary state as permanent truth. So be honest about the feeling. Acknowledge it. Feel it. Don't dismiss it. But also don't mistake it for fact. Don't treat it as reality. Don't believe it's permanent truth. You feel like you don't matter. And that feeling is real and painful and valid. But you do matter. Even when you can't feel it. Even when you can't see it. Even when your brain is telling you otherwise. That's the truth. That's reality. That's what remains true even when your feelings tell you something different. So hold both, the feeling and the fact, the perception and the reality, the temporary state and the permanent truth. You feel like you don't matter, and you do matter. Both are true. One is temporary, one is permanent. One is perception, one is reality. Hold on to the reality, especially when the feeling is overwhelming. You matter. That's fact. That's truth. That's real. Here's something else you need to hear. The people around you might not be good at showing you that you matter, but that doesn't mean you don't matter to them. Some people are bad at expressing appreciation. Some people assume you know. Some people are dealing with their own stuff and not showing up the way they should. But their inability to show you that you matter doesn't mean you don't matter to them. It means they're not expressing it. Not the same thing. You might matter deeply to someone who never tells you, who never shows it in obvious ways, who you think doesn't care, but actually does. Because people are complicated. People are messy. People are dealing with their own struggles that affect how they show up for others. So when you look at your relationships and think, see, I don't matter to anyone, you might be wrong. You might matter to people who just aren't showing it in ways you can see. Not because they don't care, but because they're human, flawed, struggling, not perfect at expressing what they feel. So what if you assumed better? What if you gave people the benefit of the doubt? What if you believed you matter to them even when they're not showing it perfectly? Not naively, not without discernment, but with the recognition that people are imperfect, that caring doesn't always translate to perfect expression, that mattering to someone doesn't guarantee they'll show it in ways you need. Because here's the hard truth. You might need more affirmation than you're getting. You might need more explicit expression of your importance. You might need people to show you more clearly that you matter. And that's valid. That's okay. That's a real need. But the fact that you're not getting it doesn't necessarily mean you don't matter. It might mean the people around you aren't good at providing it. It might mean you need different people. It might mean you need to ask for what you need. But it doesn't definitively mean you don't matter. Those are different things. So consider the possibility that you matter to people who aren't showing it well. That you're important to people who aren't expressing it clearly. That you're valued by people who are failing to demonstrate it adequately. Not to excuse them, not to let them off the hook, but to give yourself a more accurate view of reality. You might matter more than you're seeing, to more people than you realize, in ways they're not expressing, but are nonetheless real. So stop making their lack of expression mean you don't matter. Start considering that maybe you do matter, but they're just not showing it in ways you can see. And then, from that place, decide what you need. Do you need to ask people to show you more clearly? Do you need to find people who are better at expressing appreciation? Do you need to recognize your own value, independent of how others show it? Probably all of the above. But start from the assumption that you likely matter more than you're seeing, and work from there. You matter, even when people aren't showing it perfectly, even when you're not seeing clear evidence, even when you're feeling invisible. You matter. That's likely true, even if it doesn't feel true. So believe it. And then figure out what needs to change to help you feel it. Now, I want to tell you something that might be hard to accept. Your value doesn't actually depend on mattering to others. I know that seems contradictory. We've been talking about how you do matter to people, and that's true. But here's what's also true. Your fundamental worth, your inherent value, your right to exist, none of that actually depends on whether you matter to anyone else. You have value simply by being human, simply by being alive, simply by existing. That value is inherent. It's not earned. It's not dependent on others recognizing it. You matter because you're a person, not because people see you, not because people appreciate you, not because you're useful or important or significant to others, just because you exist. That's enough. That's always been enough. That will always be enough. So when you're feeling like you don't matter, part of what you're feeling is the pain of not being seen, not being recognized, not feeling valued by others. And that pain is real. That need for recognition is valid. That desire to feel important to people is human and normal. But your actual worth, your fundamental value, that's not at stake. That exists regardless. That's not dependent on others seeing it. So you can feel the pain of not being recognized, while also knowing your value isn't actually in question. You can hurt from feeling invisible, while also knowing you have inherent worth. Those things aren't contradictory. They're both true. You need to be seen by others, and you have value regardless of whether anyone sees you. So when the feeling comes that you don't matter, remind yourself of this. I'm feeling unseen. I'm feeling unimportant to others, and that hurts. But my actual value isn't dependent on that. I have worth simply by existing. That's not dismissing the pain. That's not minimizing the need for recognition. That's holding both truths at once. The truth that you need to feel valued by others, and the truth that your value exists regardless. Because if your worth depends entirely on others seeing it, you're giving them too much power. You're making yourself vulnerable to their capacity to recognize you. You're building your foundation on unstable ground. But if your worth is inherent, if it exists regardless, then others' recognition becomes important but not essential. Painful when absent but not defining. Desirable but not required for you to have value. That's stability. That's self-worth. That's knowing your value independent of external validation. So yes, work on feeling more seen by others. Yes, seek relationships where you feel valued. Yes, ask for the recognition you need. But also, know your worth independent of all that. Know you have value simply by being human. Know you matter simply by existing. That's the foundation. That's what stays stable even when people fail to see you. That's what remains true even when you're feeling invisible. You have inherent worth. You matter simply by existing. Your value doesn't depend on anyone else recognizing it. Believe that. Build on that. Let that be your foundation. And then seek the recognition you need from that stable place, rather than from a place of questioning your fundamental worth. You matter, period. Not because anyone says so, but because you exist, and existence has inherent value. That's truth. That's reality. That's what you build on. Let me tell you what happens when you start believing you matter. When you stop letting the negative thoughts convince you otherwise. When you recognize your value, even when you can't feel it. You start showing up differently. You start engaging with people differently. You start living differently. Because when you believe you don't matter, you withdraw, you hide, you don't engage, you don't share yourself, you don't participate fully. And that creates a cycle. You withdraw because you think you don't matter, and then people don't see you because you've withdrawn. And that confirms your belief that you don't matter. But when you believe you do matter, when you act as if your presence makes a difference, when you show up as if you're valuable, things shift. You engage more. You share more of yourself. You participate more fully. And people respond to that. They see you more. They recognize your value more. They interact with you more. And that creates a positive cycle. You believe you matter, so you show up. So people see you. So you get evidence that you matter. So you believe it more. So even if you can't feel it yet, try acting as if you matter. Try showing up as if your presence makes a difference. Try engaging as if you're valuable. Not in an arrogant way, not in a demanding way, but in a confident, grounded way. In a way that says, I belong here. My presence has value. I matter, and see what happens. See if people respond differently. See if you start feeling more seen. See if the evidence starts accumulating that you do, in fact, matter. Because you do. You always have. But sometimes you have to act as if before you can feel as if. Sometimes you have to behave according to truth before the feelings catch up. So try it. Show up as if you matter. Engage as if your presence makes a difference. Participate as if you're valuable. Not because you're faking it, but because you're acting on truth that you can't feel yet. You're living from reality, even when your feelings haven't caught up to it. And over time, the feelings will catch up. The evidence will accumulate. The belief will strengthen. But it starts with acting as if, with showing up, with engaging, with participating, as if you matter, even when you're not sure you do. Because you do. And the more you act like it, the more you'll see it. The more you show up, the more you'll be seen. The more you engage, the more people will respond. And slowly, the feeling that you don't matter will fade. The belief that you're invisible will weaken. The thought that you're insignificant will quiet. Because you'll have evidence. You'll have experience. You'll have reality confirming what your feelings couldn't tell you. You matter. And when you start acting like it, you'll start seeing it. And when you start seeing it, you'll start feeling it. So, start tonight. Tomorrow, show up as if you matter. Engage as if your presence makes a difference. Participate as if you're valuable. Because you are. And acting like it is the first step to believing it. And believing it is the first step to feeling it. You matter. Start living like it. Tonight, as you lie here, feeling like you don't matter, I want you to do something. I want you to look for the evidence you've been missing, because your brain has been filtering. It's been showing you all the evidence that you don't matter, and hiding all the evidence that you do. So deliberately look for what you've been missing, even small things, especially small things. Who smiled at you today? Who said hello? Who asked how you are? Who thought of you? Who reached out? Who included you? Those things might seem small, insignificant, not enough. But they're evidence. Evidence that you're seen. Evidence that you're recognized. Evidence that you matter. Your brain dismissed them, but they happened. They're real. They count. So start collecting that evidence. Start noticing the small ways people show that you matter to them. Start seeing what your brain has been filtering out. Not to convince yourself everything is perfect, not to dismiss your pain, but to see reality more accurately, to balance the negative bias your brain has right now. Because the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. You're not invisible. You're not insignificant. You're not completely unimportant to everyone. But you're also maybe not as seen as you need to be, not as recognized as you want to be, not as valued as you deserve to be. Both things can be true. You matter more than your brain is telling you, and you need more recognition than you're getting. So see both. Acknowledge both. Hold both truths. You do matter, more than you're seeing, in more ways than you're recognizing, to more people than you realize. And you need more affirmation of that, more expression of it, more evidence that you can see and feel. Both are true. So work with both. See the evidence you've been missing, and also ask for more of what you need. Tell people you need to hear that you matter. Ask for more explicit expression of your importance. Request more clear recognition of your value. There's no shame in that. That's not needy. That's honest. That's taking care of yourself by asking for what you need. So tonight, look for the evidence. Tomorrow, ask for more. Keep doing both until you can feel what's true. You matter. Start seeing it. Start asking for it. Start believing it. You matter. In small ways you've been missing. In quiet moments you've been dismissing. In subtle interactions you've been overlooking. You matter. And it's okay to need more proof of that. It's okay to ask for clearer evidence. It's okay to need people to show you more explicitly. So do both. See what's already there, and ask for more of what you need. That's how you move from feeling like you don't matter to knowing that you do. You matter. Look for it. Ask for it. Believe it. You matter. More than you know. More than you're seeing. More than you're feeling right now. But you matter. That's true. Start seeing it. Start believing it. Start living from it. You matter. Let me tell you something about the future, about what becomes possible when you start believing you matter. When you believe you don't matter, you live small. You don't take up space. You don't pursue what you want. You don't ask for what you need. You don't share your gifts. You don't contribute fully. Because why would you? If you don't matter, why would any of that matter? But when you believe you do matter, when you know your presence makes a difference, when you recognize your value, everything changes. You start living bigger. You start taking up space unapologetically. You start pursuing what you want. You start asking for what you need. You start sharing your gifts. You start contributing fully. Because you matter. So what you do matters. So what you contribute matters. So showing up fully matters. That's what becomes possible. That's what shifts. That's what changes when you move from believing you don't matter to knowing you do. You stop hiding. You stop shrinking. You stop playing small. You start showing up. You start engaging. You start living. Not because you suddenly have proof you matter, but because you decide to believe it, to act on it, to live from it. And then life responds. Opportunities open. Connections deepen. Contributions matter. Impact happens. Not because you became different, but because you started showing up as who you actually are. Because you stopped hiding your value. Because you started living as if you matter. Because you do. You always have. You just weren't living like it. You were living as if you didn't matter. So the world responded to that, to your hiding, to your shrinking, to your playing small. But when you start living as if you matter, the world responds to that too. To your showing up, to your engaging, to your contributing. That's what's possible. That's what's waiting. That's what becomes available when you believe you matter. So imagine it. What would you do if you really believed you matter? How would you show up differently? What would you pursue? What would you share? How would you contribute? Do that. Not someday. Not when you feel it. Now. Before you feel it. Based on truth rather than feeling. You matter. So live like it. Show up like it. Engage like it. Contribute like it. And watch what happens. Watch how life responds. Watch how opportunities open. Watch how connections deepen. Watch how your impact grows. Not because you became more valuable, but because you started recognizing and acting on the value you've always had. You matter. Start living like it. That's what tonight is preparing you for. That's what this truth is meant to enable. You matter. So show up. Engage. Contribute. Live fully. Because you matter. And what you do matters. And how you show up matters. Believe it. Live it. Watch what becomes possible. So here we are, at the end of our time together tonight. And I hope something has shifted for you. I hope you see that the feeling of not mattering isn't the same as actually not mattering. I hope you understand that you're likely filtering out evidence that contradicts your negative feelings. You matter. I know you can't fully feel it yet. I know the darkness is still there. I know the thoughts are still telling you otherwise. But you matter. That's true whether you feel it or not, whether you see evidence of it or not, whether your brain believes it or not. You matter to people in ways you don't see, in small moments you dismiss, in quiet ways that aren't obvious. You matter in your presence, in your existence, in just being part of people's lives. And beyond all that, you have inherent value. Worth that exists simply because you're human. Value that doesn't depend on anyone else recognizing it. Sleep tonight knowing that even when you can't feel it, even when you can't see it, even when your mind is telling you otherwise, you matter. Tomorrow, start looking for the evidence you've been missing. Start challenging the thoughts that tell you you're insignificant. Start acting as if you matter even before you feel it. Show up. Engage. Participate. As if your presence makes a difference. Because it does. And ask for what you need. Tell people you need more recognition. Request clearer expressions of your importance. There's no shame in needing that. You matter. Not because of what you do, not because of how useful you are, not because of who recognizes you, but because you exist. Because you're human. Because your life has inherent value. That's true. That's real. That's what remains even when feelings tell you otherwise. So hold on to that truth, especially in the dark moments, especially when the feelings are overwhelming, especially when the thoughts are convincing. You matter more than you know, to more people than you realize, in more ways than you can see. And your existence makes a difference. Your presence impacts people. Your life has value and meaning and significance, even when you can't feel it. Even when you can't see it, even when you don't believe it. You matter. That's truth. That's reality. That's what you can rest in tonight. Good night, dear friend. You matter. You really do. More than you know. More than you can see. More than you currently believe. But you matter. And tomorrow is another day to start seeing it. To start believing it. To start living like it. You matter. Don't ever forget that. Even when everything in you is telling you otherwise. You matter. That's truth. That's real. That's unchanging. Sleep well, knowing you matter. You've always mattered. You'll always matter. You matter. Sweet dreams.